Who wants to jump in first and tell me something positive that has happened that you want to share with our group here today?
I've had the opportunity to be on two different podcasts since the last meeting, and which have been turned out to be very, very good. And one of the recordings came in this last weekend while I was out of town, so I have not had time to review it yet. But both of those were really fun experiences.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I just what can I say? Well, tonight is when I'm doing my third presentation or like a keynote for an organization. So it's been busy for keynotes. It's free.
And you got paid for one since we talked as well, right?
Yeah, I got paid for one last week. I got $800 for 45 minutes. So,
yeah, that's a good start, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And when did you speak in Edmonton?
That was on the 3rd. So Edmonton on the 3rd, and then the 14th was Edmonton, but online. So I got paid to speak online. And then tonight is in person for a women's entrepreneur group or something that I'm going to be speaking for.
You're making progress.
Yeah. So well, I'm using the same speech again. So every time maybe slightly better.
Well, yeah. And again, the main idea is that you don't have to change your speech all the time. You have to have enough content which you can reuse, change a little bit according to the audience and the situation. So that's pretty much what that goes with. Tanya, what else do you want to say as positive other than going to Morocco?
Oh, I saw so much of Africa. It was fabulous. North Africa is just as amazing as South Africa. But I am speaking tomorrow at an HR conference we'll see how that goes. And I also wanted to share with you that link because I know you do the speakers group, and somebody gave that to me yesterday. And so I went through it. It costs a little bit to join, I think 200, but it has a bunch of speaking engagements, so paid and not paid. So if it's in your area, all you have to do is apply. So somebody put it together. It's a great site. So
okay, yeah, please feel free to share with the group if you think, and obviously if there are other opportunities available for people to tap into, that's always welcome. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Somewhere in your area, so I thought it would be good for you and Macy. I looked through it yesterday, somewhere in the Palm Coast area.
Okay, please feel free to share that, and whatever we need to do, let me know. So thank you for being a generous person. How long did you go to Morocco for? I'm just curious.
I went for 8 days.
Okay,
and
how long is the flight?
4 hours of sleep a night. It was insanity. The flight was 9 hours.
Okay, and it's a different world altogether. Anyway, I haven't been to
Interestingly, my
Morocco, but I can
friend,
guess.
the what?
I haven't been to Morocco, but I'm from India, so I can guess a few things.
I imagine it. They have a lot of similarities, I've heard.
Yes, totally. Millie's here, so how are you, Millie?
I'm doing well. We won't dwell on anything negative, so.
What's
There's
in
nothing
is that your
negative.
dog? I'm like, what's
It's my
there?
dog.
Now I'm seeing. Yeah.
We had a disaster. We had a house disaster this week, but it's minor. But it was
Well,
a disaster.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Peanut
So we're
Buster, what is it? Peanut Buster? What is the name?
peanut butter parfait.
Perfect. So I'm trying to
Currently
remember if
called
I'm accurate on that. Okay, good. So obviously we talked about the 3 stories framework. And by the way, Macy, do you have something positive you want to share?
Sure. I spoke at an event yesterday. I was like a fill-in because she knew me and she knew that I could do it at last minute. So that was nice. And I'm moving out, so that's cool.
Wow.
She's going to Orlando.
Yeah.
It's about an hour and a half from us, or 50
Ah,
minutes. So she spoke yesterday at this women's event through Seminole State College, Seminole County State College. They call it LELLEX, kind of a version of TEDx. And people have to audition to be part of it. And, one person dropped out or whatever happened. And then they've heard of my daughter. So it's like, hey, we want Macy to speak with no preparation in the sense like she didn't have to go through any process of audition. They had assigned coaches to everybody else, but my daughter had no coach, which, she didn't need it either, and she did a great job yesterday as well. She was the youngest, 22, needless to say, and she did really, really well. But again, those people have heard her videos enough that they are willing to obviously say, hey, you know what? We know her background enough. So thank you. Sheila, anything quick positive from you?
Oh, I had been muted. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to finally join the group. I think this is the third one. If there's still spaces available, someone that I actually met with yesterday wants to know how to sign up. And
Okay,
he's
good.
from your Minesh group.
Thank you. So just can you make the connection, email, Facebook, whatever else it is? I will follow up. Very good. Thank you. So last time we covered, and I'm just going to give a brief summary, that there are 3 types of stories that you can use to easily connect with people and help them take the next step, whatever they feel would be the right step with you. Because at the end, we want to present good information, we want to connect with the audience, but we also want to find ways to monetize it. So the first story is the connection story, which is simply about forming a connection. It's not a complicated story. It makes people feel ease, makes them feel like you are one of them, and not very like detailed, transformative story there. That's the connection story. The second story is your journey of transformation or somebody that you have helped, and people can get a sense of this is where the person was, this is where the person is, and a general idea of a system that was used in order to make that transformation happen. So we all can have that clarity in that. And the third one is the buyer's journey story, which is where you teach people about how you helped somebody to achieve that transformation. And what that typically, we talked about some examples, like you might be on the podcast, for example, Scott, and on the podcast near the end, it's like, hey, quite a few people hear me on the podcast and they're curious, how can I work with Scott? So you didn't really pitch hard, but you created that opening for the conversation. And then I tell them, hey, you know what? The host has been generous. He's going to be giving my information as well. But lighthouse coaching or whatever that lead magnet you can have, you can create that connection for people to now take action on it to say, oh, okay, I know what to do next. Because you want to offer them without a salesy method, depending on the situation. Sometimes it's open season and then you can pitch as much as you want, right? On the other hand, if you don't want to be pitchy and you want to just transition into a conversation, you simply point out, hey, people heard me on the podcast. They called me, they set up a time with me, and we had a great discovery session. And I was able to understand their situation. Then I was able to provide some tips to them. And over the next 6 months, we worked together to make sure that that plan was in action, and I was able to help them get the result. And people hear that is like, oh, maybe I should talk to him. And then you can be more as clear as possible. So the 3 stories are connection, transformation, and the buyer's journey story. So how many of you have these 3 stories or one of these stories or whatever it is? Just tell me and just raise your hand. Macy will, highlight you so you can tell us about whatever that story is that you've been working on.
Can I jump in? Because
yes, you can jump in.
Enlighten me.
Yes.
So where I'm going at with the November event, I would love a transformation from emptiness, and it would be something like how to step out of your comfort zone, right?
Okay.
So I don't know which one I would use. I don't know that I'm necessarily selling something. So with the buyer's journey, it would be more either, to take action, inspire to take action, step out of that comfort zone. Where would you be today had you not taken that step?
Okay. So let me clarify. The November event, I expect you to sell. So I want to make sure that we are very clear on that, right? And you don't have to outwardly sell hard. That's not the point. The point is you want to give them very clear some action available. Believe me?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So the reason I'm mentioning that is you want to point out something specific that people might have achieved because of working with you. But the key is, in your case, Sheila, you can look at it and say, okay, what is it that I can offer which would make sense? And in your case specifically, again, I don't know what you would want to offer in November, but knowing your background, because there are going to be people who are speakers. So they might be looking for converting their podcasts, their episodes, their different podcast series or whatever into a book, into an ebook. It could be different versions of that. And having that story would be helpful to say, hey, I was speaking at Podfest Expo, and suddenly 3 people reached out to me and said, Sheila, that is a phenomenal idea. I've been thinking about converting my podcast into a book. Can you really help me with that? And then I set up a one-on-one conversation with them, just trying to understand what their podcast was about, what their message was. And then we decided that over the next 6 weeks, we'll be able to convert their podcast into a series of ebooks and be able to provide something tangible that they can actually use as a lead magnet or sell, and actually can be part of a collaboration as well. Sheila, I would love to hear what your comments are on what I just told.
So I love it. So I guess it would be, the message would be more on the power of the story. And then I could show the transformation based on the power, which is actually kind of true, because even Pot to Book was born from stepping out of my comfort zone and, starting that podcast. It was just finding, the 3 things that united: the technology, the storytelling, and repurposing the content. So
Correct.
all right. So I am going to tie it into something. Thank you for the clarity. I'm like empty nesting, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to talk to women, take that leap, but without turning it back in. So you just shifted it's the power of the story. So within the story, I can talk about.
Yeah, and you did speak at Podfest Expo, and you did end up having conversations with people. I mean, like this is real. I know this because we met obviously in person, right? So I know this what happened. You can just weave that into the conversation. The people who are going to be watching, listening in November are going to be speakers, authors, podcasters. So that's the market. Good, Sheila. That was a good point, and I'm glad that you're open to it. Good. Who else has a story or needs to work on a story? And by the way, Muskan, feel free to jump in at any time to give your input, because she's very, very good at it, and she respects me sometimes by not speaking up. And I want to give her total permission that she's welcome to jump in anytime, because she's really, really good at providing feedback.
You're gonna wait till she moves out to step on your toes. Safe
Well,
distance.
I'm very blessed to have a great relationship with my daughter. I'm truly blessed. So go ahead. Who has a story that they are figuring it out? Or okay, Millie, go ahead.
So there's a lot of focus around memory and Alzheimer's right now. The research is really growing, but who can relate to having an aging parent who's started to forget things? My mom had a moderate stroke a few years back. She couldn't, and it took like her a month before she got her memory back. And I'm concerned, because it runs in my family, as to how I'm going to age in terms of memory. So I want to do something that's relatable as far as, being concerned about the future of Alzheimer's or dementia.
Okay. So I want to get some clarity. So the 2 things which we want to always have in mind, number 1 is obviously who is my target market, and what do I want them to do after they listen to my speech, right? Because those are the 2 steps. Number 1 is who is my target market? What do I want them to take as the next step? So tell me that first, and then let's find the place for your story.
My target market is people who are in midlife who may or may not be noticing or starting to get concerned that they might get dementia later on. Or like
Okay.
they might get Alzheimer's disease later on.
Perfect.
Can I help her chime in?
Yeah, but before that, hold on for a second, your thought. What is the next action step you want them to take once they heard your speech?
I want them to I want them to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I guess that's the easiest opt-in, which focuses on clarity.
Yeah, but let's make it more monetizable. What is
Okay.
something you want to sell? Like, is it consultation? Is it something in terms of package you want to sell to people?
Yeah, so if I want to sell something, then it would be it would be a glymphatic drainage Alzheimer's prevention package.
So diagnosis of some nature.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, in sales, it's always very simple. You're either offering a solution or you're offering a diagnosis. It just typically is that. Now, again, you can teach and everything else, but in your situation, because I know Tanya provides diagnosis as well. And anybody can provide diagnosis as a sales point to start, because diagnosis makes them more open to saying, yes, I have a problem. I need somebody to help me. You are the one who helped me diagnose the problem. So you are most likely the person I should go to. That's the human nature thinking going on for you. So yeah, so it would be perfectly fine in your case to, again, if you have an example, that would be even better to say, hey, if you're targeting women as an example, you might say, hey, Mary came to me and Mary was like, I'm not really sure, but sometimes I feel I'm not on top of things. I feel like I'm forgetting certain key things, and then I come back and then I'm like, oh, what happened? How did I miss that? And what we did was we set up a consultation where I went through all the details on that. And Mary was surprised that there were some symptoms that she had not even paid attention to. And now they became more clear to her that that's what could be going on. And then I put her on a program, and it's so good to see Mary getting excited about life in a different way altogether. Is that making sense what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Give me your understanding. I just made up stuff. So I would like you to give me some more polished real world example that you might have. Again, not necessarily an example, but better explanation than I did.
Of which part? Of like
The
what
last
you
part, right? The buyer's journey part of it, right? Or even the transformation part of it. Whatever. It's like, give me something which you can use. I mean, I gave you some tips, which were just random tips, right? You know what I'm saying? You know better about your expertise than I do. I just provided a format.
Can I give her just
Yeah, go ahead,
input?
Sheila.
When she said that, I was like, whoa. So we look like we're about the same age, and my mother-in-law just got diagnosed with dementia, Parkinson's, and body Louis dementia or something like that. And I'm like, holy moly. What's the first thing coming through my mind is prevention. And now you're saying some drainage or something. And I'm going, Millie, I'm like trying to Google. I'm like, Ben, I think vitamin D is like, that's what's going on through our minds, right? So those are your 3 key points right there is, where do I start? So I can't wait to hear how you're going to turn this out, because I just feel like I don't even know where to start. What questions am I looking for? What supplements, what vitamins? So that's kind of what he's trying to get you to do. And I'm giving you your perfect target market that's trying to listen to see, what does this woman know and offer that can give me some answers, whether it be where to start, what symptoms to look for, and some of the techniques that you can implement today. Even though my husband, God forbid, please thank you, because I'm kind of freaking out, these 3 things, how can I help him prevent that, diagnose it? Can you catch it early?
Any comments, Millie?
I mean, I don't know why I'm having a hard time putting it together, because originally I was thinking that I would say something from my own life.
Yeah.
Because as opposed to a client's life, which is fine too, but I just like, both of my grandparents got dementia. My mom had a stroke. My dad died of glioblastoma. So I have a lot of like memory, brain issues personally. And that's where I'm most trying. Maybe I'm just trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, but that's where I really want to be able to grow, is how to relate to people personally through my own stories. So then, Minesh, when you flip the script on it being like one of my patients, then okay, I can do that, but I'm still trying in my mind for it to be.
Yeah. So again, let's just be clear.
Yeah.
My purpose is to help you create a speech
Mhm.
that will help you in any audience in general, right? Because we want to make it flexible enough to fit the audiences.
Yeah.
And we want to have the 3 stories. And the reason for stories is just people listen to stories better. That's the bottom line. It's not for it. You could talk about 3 steps to this and 5 steps to this and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. You can include that in your story, and that's fine with me. But I'm just saying that stories connect faster with people than anything else. So when you talk about story, people are paying attention. So the first story is connection. The second story is transformation. The third is buyer's journey. In your case, maybe we are kind of bringing it all together too quickly for you. We just may need to take a moment for each one of them and then break it down so that you feel clear about what you want to communicate, but you also have a clear next action step for people. So in your case, if you don't mind me just jumping into something, and then you can come back, process it, and tell me. So the connection story will be as simple as possible. It's not difficult. In your case, you can come from just your personal background, people losing memories, or anything like that. It's like something which is simple and easy to relate to, and you would be as specific as possible. Like yesterday, Muskan, when she was speaking, she gave a story, and you want to tell that connection story that you had, because again, see the specific nature of it. I want you to notice the specific nature of the story. It's not general, it is extremely specific that you can put yourself in that situation. So, Muskan, you want to share about yesterday's story that you shared?
Yeah. So the story I shared was when I was like 12 or 13, I can't remember. We were on a vacation in Texas, and this girl in the bathroom I was in, we were washing our hands, okay. She was wearing a Shawn Mendes sweatshirt, which at the time was my favorite singer. And so I was like, oh my God, I love your sweatshirt. And she was really excited about it too. So we were talking about it for a few minutes in the bathroom. And then when we walked out of the bathroom, I was like, you should come join us for dinner. And I invited her to dinner with my family. And it was really fun. And we're still friends to this day. And we still talk to each other. So that was the story that I shared yesterday on the stage.
Yeah. So, Millie, do you see it's very specific? So, the way do you want to share the 1 minute story or 2 minute part of the story, how you had delivered there? Because I want people to hear the delivery as well, because it's easy to miss the point of it because you described it, but let's just tell the story.
I mean, I can. It was off the fly. So
Yes.
it's not to be specific. But I don't know. I feel nervous now. Everyone's eyes are on me.
Aw. Supportive eyes.
We love you. We love you.
Loving, supportive eyes.
Yes, very loving and supportive eyes. Tanya is right about that.
Okay. Out of the corner of my eye, I immediately noticed it. A girl just about my age wearing a black and blue sweatshirt. The reason I had noticed it so quickly was because I have the exact same one at home. I was 13 years old in a bathroom in Texas that I had never been before, and I didn't think anymore. I just turned to her and said, oh my God, I love your sweatshirt. I have that exact same one. Her eyes lit up. We got so excited because this was merchandise of our favorite singer at the time, Shawn Mendes. We got to talking about some of the songs that we liked, any of the upcoming concerts that we were planning on going to. And before I knew it, I just invited her out to dinner with my family where we ate pizza. Almost 10 years later, her and I are still really amazing friends that we talk all the time.
Thank you. Thank you. How many of you actually literally feel being in the room with her? And she's very good at delivering too. So she has that technique. Again, and I mention this quite often, like when she says, out of the corner of my eye, now it's like, what is she seeing? It's like you are in that moment and it is grabbing your attention because it makes it so real for you. And then she talks about the shirt and the bathroom being like 12, 13 years old and so on and so forth. So she's giving you actual description that makes you feel like you are there. You are participating with her. You are in the moment, actually experiencing what she's experiencing at that moment. So I'd love to, first of all, everybody give me like, what did you learn from that story that you can use for yourself? So Scott, we haven't given you a chance. So Scott, tell me.
Make it personal. Start with yourself and how you relate to the person that you're talking to.
Mhm. Thank you. Penny?
Yeah, it's just like an interesting. She had a little bit of drama at the beginning with the corner out of the eye, corner of the eye, corner of the eye. Just because you're like, oh, it's kind of like the opener. It makes me think of the opener statement or the opening band of the rest of the story.
Exactly.
The
Good.
hook.
Yeah, go ahead, Penny, if you have something else.
No, just it's like the hook, another word
Yes.
for it, right?
Yeah, very good point. Tanya?
No, I thought it was good. I like the way that she opened with inquisitiveness that made us think. Because one of the things they taught us, everybody has something different. Some people say start with a question, But the one thing that stuck out was never start with a question, because then the audience is going to be thinking about the answer to the question and you're going to lose them. So I like the way that she had the hook, which made us think, but not think of an answer. Just think, where is she going? Where is she going? So good job, Macy.
Thank you, Tanya.
Moving up and moving out, Macy.
Sheila and then Millie. Sheila, what did you get from the conversation or the connection story?
It was two completely different stories when she was just telling us, and then when you had her redo it. I absolutely loved how she paused. It was a whole different type of story. And so are we going to learn that?
Yes, yes. You will learn all of that stuff because it's practice, but there is a method that you apply.
Incredible. I give it a 10.
Thank you. She's been coaching people. That's what surprises some people. She was the youngest of the lot, and yes, I'm biased. She was the best speaker of the lot as well. So anyway, Millie.
He is biased, but he's also the harshest critic I have. So I do believe him, because when I was a kid and I sucked, he would tell me I sucked. So when he says things like this, I do believe him, because it was rough when I was 12 years old. He was
She's
like,
been getting training for a
"You could do
long
better
time. So
than
thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, it was. Yeah, she was definitely. She was the one who clearly held the stage, had the tonality, movement. It's like he knew what she was doing on the stage. And some people are just walking back and forth. And it's like they don't really know how to hold a stage. So anyway, thanks. So Millie, I would love to hear, because obviously we were trying to help you with your connection story here.
No, I really appreciated the pacing of Macy's story. So she built it up kind of in a suspenseful way. Yeah, which was really great just for roping people, drawing people in.
Yeah, thank you. So again, I'm going to tell you something. And again, this is just to give practice here. This is not Minesh has the right answer for every situation. I don't want to come from that place. I never want to be seen that. But again, I have suggestions. I'm a coach, right? So in your case, as an example, you'd go on the stage and say, I thought I put my shoes here. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you're triggering people about memory. Is that making sense to you? Right? And you're catching people's attention. It's like, what is she talking about? It's like grabs their attention. It's like shoes. Oh, now I'm trying to think, what was the last thing I did with my shoes? So now it gets them engaged, and that's what you're talking about, memory. Tell me your opinion on what I just told you.
Yeah, so you want to draw people in emotionally. So they pay attention, and I appreciate Sheila's feedback too, because just her natural response to the topic, it is a very emotional subject. And so it's one to both treat respectfully, but then because it's such a big, it's such a serious thing that we're preventing, but then again, it is in the area of prevention when we do have the time to work on it. So, and there are so many things you can do. So, yeah, okay, I don't know what your question was exactly, but
So my question was just about giving you a framework to start with. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not telling you use this story. I'm just giving you a place to start.
Yes.
Yeah. And you can, with memory, there are so many things you can talk about, that is easy for people to relate to, because everybody relates to coming into a room and then it's like, what did I come into this room for? Has anybody else had that feeling times? Like, I thought I came into this. Am I the only one? I'm the only one raising hand here. Okay. But you walk into a room after from just like, oh, what was it? What did I come in this room for? And then suddenly it's like, oh, and then you pace around and then you find out, oh, I came for this, or whatever else it is. And that happens to all of us. And hence it's easy to relate to something that they can feel connected quickly, right? Again, it doesn't have to be just that story, but it gives people something to engage in. Because remember, stories are going to connect at a deeper level than just giving information, which is the reason I'm teaching this framework, because to me, if you can master telling stories, you can create a much better connection with the audience and take them through the journey much easier. So is this helping you, Millie? Because today's conversation is more about helping you start getting those stories very clear so that you can be confident, okay, I know my connection story, I know my transformation story, I know my buyer's journey story, and I can piece them together. And then you can use them in any speech, anywhere you want, pick and choose whichever you like to use, but you don't have to work too hard on coming up with something different every time.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Good. So Tanya, let me ask you, tell me a little bit about your connection story or anything like that that you are thinking of.
Learning through differences is really my topic, and my story would be on the adoption process. So, but
Okay.
when I started my actual speech, I started with, have you ever been faced with a situation that you really thought was going to be your demise? Or have you ever been told no and tried many different, like I did in vitro, I did insemination, I tried to adopt, nothing worked. And then I was basically gifted a child. So I thought I'd personalize the story there. I don't really know a good opening without a question. There was a time in my life where I was so stubborn, I thought like I knew it all. If I didn't learn it in a textbook, I wasn't going to learn it until I was, gifted this child from a different culture, different language, different experiences. So how do you grow through challenges, or you grow through challenges, not necessarily through a textbook? That was the direction. I did a Toastmaster speech on it, and it went really well. So I thought, okay, I'll take it one step further and practice it there. But when I did the Toastmasters stage, I said, have your beliefs ever been so embedded you thought you could never have your mind changed?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
good
I
for
don't
all
know
of
how, like, I like how Macy started it, and now I want to start it like, what would you do if you just, a foreign child just showed up in your lap? Like, where do you go?
So good point. So what I want to help you understand here is the connection story is the most different story from the other two stories. Okay, they don't have to be connected. Your connection story is more about connecting with the audience than everything else, what is going to come later in your speech. So the connection story is for them to open their mind to just listen to you. That's all the goal is. It's not connected to your journey necessarily. It's not connected to your offer. Connection story is simply designed to make them want to listen to you. You draw them in. That's all your job is. Like her story doesn't have as much to do with the rest of the stuff, comparatively speaking, right? But it's not relevant for the connection story. The connection story could be as simple as I had a tough time in traffic jam. How many of else others had a traffic jam? Did you all have traffic? Like something simple enough. I'm not saying necessarily the format, but it could be like, it's so hot in the room, I had to take off my, my coat. It's like people would be like, yeah, it's like make it so easy and simple for you that you don't have to work hard at the connection story. And then when you keep doing a few different times and you start seeing which lands better, then you keep, improving accordingly. But the connection story is not about climbing Mount Everest, the adoption, losing memory and everything. It's not about that. It's about something that people will immediately connect with and they will want to listen to you. It can be 30 seconds, a minute, pretty much not much more than that is what the connection story is about. Because the connection story is not the long drawn out story. Yes, Sheila.
All right, so I'm a bit confused and I just need a little bit of clarity.
Yes, go ahead.
Is the connection story like the hook or the opening, or is it a whole different story? Because I understood these are three different like speeches or stories that we should have in our pocket depending on the situation.
So the connection story will change depending on the audience you are in front of, because you want to be as relatable to the audience as possible. Okay, you will change your connection story whoever you are speaking in front of. If you're talking to women, if you're talking to men, if you're talking to executives, your connection story cannot be something that is going to be the same unless it's clear enough that it can connect with a lot of different people quickly, right? Okay, so you want to have a connection story that relates with the audience, and you might use a different story each time depending on whatever the audience in front of you is. For the November one, typically you're going to have speakers, authors, podcasters in front of you, right? So You can start with something very simple there, very easy, okay? Because you know the audience which is in front of you. The transformation story is where you are trying to create clarity that you have a process to get them results. The transformation story is all about, I know here I was or here my client was, depending on whose story you're talking about. And then there is a process to get the result. That is the transformation story. The buyer's journey is to sell the transformation story. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. Now, it's your story in the transformation or not is depending on what you do for people. If it is your story, that's even better. But it doesn't have to be, because there are a lot of coaches, consultants, experts who don't necessarily have their own story as a transformation story. They have their client's story as a transformation story. And the buyer's journey is to sell to the audience how they can hire you. Sheila, is that clear?
Yes, I guess the only thing that I'm still unclear is, are these elements of the same speech?
Yes. So there are three stories: connection story, transformation story, buyer's journey story. They're all three components of the keynote that I'm teaching you. Now, in future, you can use any other format you want, but now you have stories that you can pick and choose, but put it and plug it as you feel is helpful to you. Is that clearer now, Sheila? Yeah. And that's all it is. It's not that, again, this is not supposed to be rocket science, but grabbing the attention of your prospects and audience does take some skill. I mean, it's not, most people don't have it. That's why people need to go through enough training, practice to go present to an audience and get the result they're looking for. Penny, love to hear any thoughts you have.
Yeah, I agree with everything. And I think I made a good connection with my story. So I did it a little bit different. I kind of mixed it together. So my opening line to my people is, I need everyone to grab the thing and move it to the right place. Did you do that? Macy, what did you grab?
Wait, what did I grab?
I don't know which thing she was talking about, so I just picked up something.
So now you've all experienced the poor communication here, right?
Oh, okay. Now I see.
Didn't understand what I wanted. My message didn't land, did it?
Yeah.
You don't know what I want to do. You don't know what the thing is, and you don't know what the place is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Today, that's what we're here to fix.
Okay.
I like that.
So it is experiential, right?
Yeah.
And that experiential is always good too, because you want people engaged in as many ways as possible. Like, for example, Sheila, when she gave her 10, just a second, Sheila gave her 10-minute speech, she had people engage and do stuff. I don't know if you remember, Sheila, when you gave the 10-minute speech in our Friday networking. Yeah, good. So Penny, sorry about that. Continue your thought.
That's okay. Yeah. And then I just go into it. The dangerous gap is what I mean and what they heard. I mean, it's similar to what we're learning about as well. I thought I was clear, but obviously I wasn't, because I weren't picking up the right thing. I wanted you to pick up a pen, etc. So I just kind of get them involved. And then I have them do like a 2-minute little pair share of a time that's happened. So again, I'm ingraining their own personal story of what happened to them and why it didn't land. And then now I start getting it, start changing into, well, why does this happen? Well, there's filters in the way. And the filters can be, I have a PowerPoint that goes with it and whatnot. So the filters are, they're stressed, or they don't know what's in it for them. You haven't got that point across to them. There might be distractions. So there's all these things in the way of actually getting your message across to people. And then I go through another thing. I say, okay, what if I said, we need to talk? How does it make you feel? What do you think we're going to talk about? Then I ask them, like, I feel like I'm in trouble. So I give them a couple of examples like that. And then so then the part about the transformation is, I found out, I say it differently, but we want our message to land, and I have a framework for that. And then I go through the framework, and the framework's called land. So it's easy to remember, and there's an airplane on a strip. And then I go through each word, what it represents, to make your message land with your audience, which is very similar to what we're learning from Minesh. And then I have them do, okay, now you have the framework, you need a pen and you need a paper, and write down what message needs to land this week for you to somebody. So who is it? What do you want them to do? Why does it matter to them? And then what's the clearest way of delivery? And then they come back, a couple people share who they need to talk to, what it is. And then I give them a little bit of tweaking, like I don't understand or it doesn't make sense. And then my final call to action, and I call it out. And my one thing that I want to land here today is for you to take a picture of my QR code, download my free PDF that's 5 facilitation hacks to make you a better facilitator. And then in that document is a bit of a, there's the 5 hacks to be a better facilitator, but also, you should take the whole day course. And sometimes throughout the presentation, somebody asks a little deeper question. And I'm like, yeah, that's on the 1-day course.
Perfect.
That's what I got so far, guys.
How many of you love her energy? Do you see that? Like she just exudes such fun energy, right? I just love listening to her. So thank you, Penny. Go ahead.
Wait. Can you just go over the 4 points? Because you challenged us, and now I'm determined to do that. So it was, what do you want to land this week? And then why does it matter to them? That's all I was able to write down.
I'll show you.
I thought you had to sign up for her course.
I think so, because she had me like at hello. She's got it all down packed. And then with the whole plane, I was able to visualize it. So even though it wasn't how Macy said it, it just gave me that visual to be there looking at the message landing.
Yes.
Are you sharing it in the text so that I stopped interrupting? Okay.
Can I share my screen?
Yes, you should be.
Or no?
You should be able to share.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so this is the PowerPoint, so it'll help nail it down for you.
Yes, thank you.
This is where I was telling that first little story. Then they have to share. Then the filters that get in the way. This is the we need to talk. The question between what you want to say and what they actually hear. And then there's my landing strip.
Yeah.
And there's the land. So listener, aim, need, delivery. So that I go through all those different steps, what that looks like. And then the end questions.
Yep. Which is what we were talking about. Who am I speaking to? What do we want them to do, right? We were talking about the action step. Why does it matter to them? That's good. What's the clearest way to say it? So, Penny, that looks really good.
Yeah.
I basically am saying what Minesh is saying, except that I'm selling a workshop on how to be a better facilitator or, in interactive. And I want it to be purposely interactive so they feel it. And I'm modeling what I would do in a real deal.
Good. There you are. Penny, this is great.
Got it?
Yes.
Yes, and really it's beautiful. The presentation is beautiful.
This is ChatGPT, guys.
Yeah. Even the PowerPoint?
The PowerPoint is ChatGPT. And I really like this, Minesh, way back when we talked about before and after. I think the before and after is so powerful to get your point across. Like this is the before presentation, before they have me kind of thing. And then after they have this.
Yeah.
And if you can represent that some way or tell a story, I mean, that's kind of what the transformation is about.
Exactly.
So anyways, blah, blah,
Good
blah.
for you, Penny. Kudos. This is exactly what we are looking for.
10.
This is exactly what we are looking for. So I would like to, I know Hannah just joined, possibly her audio or whatever may not be working. So tell me, what is one key point you are taking away from today's workshop session? So I would like to start with Scott, then Penny, and then Tanya. So Scott, go ahead.
Basically breaking it down into those three stories and transitioning between them in such a way that you're not just jumping between them, but you're rolling between them to show the person, hey, I'm like you are. Here's the problem. Here's the answer, and here's how we can apply that to us, you, me, them, and make it work. And then here's something at the end that draws them in, a call to action of some kind.
Yep. Thank you. Tanya, then Sheila.
Me, I got the
sorry.
three connect. Oh,
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I may
The
have
three-
mixed up the points here because my screen shifted, so I didn't realize who was
well,
next.
yeah, you did say Penny first. Penny, if you wanted to go, you can.
Just a confirmation, I hadn't really thought. I thought I was on the right track. I thought it was good and I had good response. So I've like presented it twice. And yeah, so I guess it was a confirmation that I think I'm on the right track. Maybe my ending isn't strong enough in that I'm not really asking them to buy a product. I'm still on a like it's more of a lead magnet or a free thing, but I'm not saying here buy my. So should that be stronger at the end, do you think, Manish? More of a like you need to buy my facilitation methods product, or
So-
are we still at here's some more tips?
Good point. So there are good questions. So it depends on the area that you are in. Like some places it's very clear, don't pitch yourself, right? Okay. So where it is don't pitch yourself, you're going to make it more like a story in terms of if you are given permission to sell, nothing wrong with openly selling. Because if you are given permission, yeah, you can go sell, then sell as clearly as possible because people need direction. People are not going to jump in and just automatically buy. You have to give them very clear direction. It also is depending on the level of confidence you have in selling, because the easiest thing is going to be lead magnet, free consultation, where there is no money exchanged. On the other hand, if you already are like, hey, you know what? I'm up to selling my workshop and they had me for 45 minutes. That's enough time to build rapport and show value for what I had. So there is no point not taking 5-10 minutes minimum to go ahead and explain what the workshop would look like and what they can get from it. And here is the price point for the workshop and go ahead and sign up right now. Nothing wrong with that. So it depends on the time you have to engage with people and how clearly you can enunciate. So how long did you have for this particular keynote about the land that you just talked about?
Yeah, so it's 45 minutes, but it's really 30 minutes of talking, 10 minutes of questions.
Yeah, so you have enough time to pitch. Okay, you have enough time to pitch. So you could easily come up with, and I'm just making up a number, $297 offer, which people would reasonably accept depending on the audience. Now, some audience would be willing to pay more, etc. But if you're speaking for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you should be able to sell minimum $297 product. There are people who can sell $997 product or even more, but going beyond $997 is usually a little bit harder to sell in a quick setting, right? So I would encourage you to have a specific payment offer which people can take care of, and then you just practice the heck out of it with the process that people can see the benefit, the value, and how quickly they can sign up, and always have, what is it called, the limitations available. First 3 people to sign up. Look at the room. If the room has 30 people, then say, hey, first 3 people get 30-minute consultation with me one-on-one. They sign up. So now you have 3 people signing up very quickly. And if you're even like, you know what, I'll give one person right away, you have at least one person sign up. It's like make the offer limiting enough with enticing bonuses that the first 2-3 people take action. Because if you have first 2-3 people taking action, then the rest will follow suit. You need that first 2-3 people to take action. Is that making sense to you, Penny, what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so I either offer the free PDF document or free something, or I offer a package.
If you are getting 20-30 minutes, sell. 20-30 minutes, you don't have to be giving free stuff. You already gave enough free stuff.
Is it appropriate, like it's an association that I'm speaking at?
I don't think so. I mean, again, unless there is a very clear agreement before, I don't really care about that, because if there is a clear agreement, you're not supposed to do this, you can always sell, because at the end, you do want to make money from it. And everybody knows that if you want more help from an expert, you're going to pay for it. So it's never going to be that you can't sell unless they told you before. We expect our speakers not to sell openly. Sometimes they have that. If they are giving you a free opportunity to speak and then you can't sell anything, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Right? Come on, I'm giving free information and I can't sell. To me, that makes no sense. Why am I speaking for free if I can't sell? Unless the target market is really, really rich in front of you, that just by being in front of them, you're going to build connection with some good people. So it just depends on evaluation. But going back to, if you got 20, 30 minutes, make an offer, make a pitch for money.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Okay, Tanya and then Sheila.
Well, for me, I learned the three components of a keynote, and I need to come up with a better opening. So I'm definitely working on that.
Yeah, bring it, because these sessions are more practice sessions than me just teaching. This is where you bring your idea, let's refine it, clear it up, because you should be able to use this for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? This is not like you're doing one time, one speech. This is a practice which you can take anytime you want. So thank you, Tanya. Sheila and then Millie.
For me, it was seeing Macy, the before and after in front of my eyes of just her having related a story. And then when she retold it, it blew my mind.
Yeah, so it's called describing and performance. There is a huge difference between the two. You need to learn to perform in front of an audience. Millie?
No, I appreciate workshopping my idea. So that was my biggest takeaway.
Thank
I
you.
have an idea of where I'm going now. So thank you to everybody.
You're welcome. And that's what just, basically what you can do is, you can send it back and forth to me if you have some information to send, and I can give you some critique on that. Macy, what are some words of wisdom you would like to share with the audience here before and again, we meet third Wednesdays. Please keep that in mind. I will send a reminder this time so that you get that. Go ahead.
Don't think I have anything. I don't know.
Yeah, well, so she's very good at, so anyway, anybody else has something that we missed asking somebody, or somebody has an input before we end the call today?
My only question is in relation to the hotel. Have you shared the link for the rooms?
Oh, good question. Yes, I did. Okay, so I may have, but if I didn't, I'm going to share it to you shortly here. By the way, here is the school, SKOOL, where we have the data. So go ahead and definitely get the information that you're looking for. So I'll show it to you so you know exactly what this looks like, because some of you may have more experience than others on school. Some of you may not have it. Let me just say. Okay. So the Keynote Lab level 1, we have the classroom, we have the community, calendar, stuff like that. So this will be easier for you. I'll send it to you later. But this in the chat, so you can join the school group and we'll go from there. I will give you the link to the room as well. Let me see. I thought I had found it. Give me a second here.
Is this pertaining to this group specifically leading up to the?
Westin Lake Mary.
Okay. I'm feeling like I don't have all the information, but I mean, I'm coming.
Yeah. So Westin Lake Mary, people are asking for the room. So I will make sure I send it out to you, because I realize I thought I had it easily there, but I don't in front of me. So I'll send it to you, the Westin Lake Mary booking link, so you can book your room for the nights at Westin Lake Mary. Okay, we'll make sure you get that. Fantastic. I look forward to seeing your smiling faces next month. And Sheila, can you make the connection for the person you were referring to?
Yes. And
thank you. And this is the second call. This is the second call, not the third call. So you haven't missed any more than one call.
So my only suggestion, Minesh, I don't know. I'm in the school community and I couldn't find this URL. So maybe in the calendar section, you can create the events.
I
for
will
the-
create it, and I realize I don't have it in my calendar here.
Thank
So,
you. Good
thank you.
idea.
Nice
Thank you
meeting
for-
everyone. I'm so excited. I only missed one meeting then.
Yes, yes, you makes only one meeting. Exactly. Okay, thank you.
Billy, I'm
Fantastic.
waiting for you. I want all those preventions. I'm about to book a drainage. I don't even know what the lymphatic drainage, but it sounds good even for me that I'm not concerned about that. So
will
I can't
follow
wait
up.
to learn more.
Well, book it up with Millie. Millie is available. So let's take advantage of each other's resources.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you so
Bye.
much. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.